Bitcoin boom beating gold and silver. What does that mean? It means you better buy as much as you can now. The train is moving, the dollar is dying, silver is still affordable for everyone. And as the dollar crashes, what counts is not price, but how many coins of gold, silver, or Bitcoin do you own? I first started buying silver in 1964 when I was 17 years old. And the reason is I didn't know. I was a kid, a high school kid, and I saw this little copper tinge around the dimes and the quarters and the half dollars. I didn't know what that means, but there's a law called Gresham's Law. And Gresham's Law says there's something that we as human beings know what's real or fake. And apparently as a kid, I kind of knew that anything with a copper tinge around the silver, the dime, quarter, or half dollar was fake. So I used to caddy for the golf. I played golf, so I caddied to make money to pay for my golf. And I would take my caddy money and I'd take it into the bank and I trade it in for rolls of dimes, quarters, and half dollars. And I'd go through the coins. And if I saw anything with copper on it, I'd kick it back. And then I'd rewrap them and take it back to the bank with extra money. So I did that for about a year. I just kept collecting dimes, quarters, and half dollars. And I had this whole bag of what they call bulk silver today. But I just kind of knew it was fake. And then I went off to school in New York. And when I came home, my mother spent it. I got to Vietnam in January 1972. And as soon as I got there, my rich dad sent me a letter, but those were snail mail. It took a long time, the mail to get to you. And he says, watch out. He says, the world's going to change. Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. And I didn't even know what gold was because we weren't allowed to own gold. In 1933, I believe it was illegal for Americans to own gold. So I didn't know what gold was. So my co-pilot and I fly behind enemy lines because the North Vietnamese army had run south and the gold mine was in its way. So we're flying behind enemy lines, and that's when I started negotiating. Gold was at $35 an ounce in 1971. And by the time I got to the gold dealer, I had this gold mine. It was a little Vietnamese woman with red teeth. And I tried to buy gold from her at a discount. So I thought, well, it's $35 an ounce. It's $50 an ounce today because it was starting to rise. And she wouldn't move. She says, no, it's spot. Spot. I didn't know what spot meant. And here we are, my co-pilot and I were college graduates. And this little Vietnamese woman, I don't think she went to college, but she knew more about money than he and I did. But that was my introduction to gold. And I didn't buy any gold that day, but I let our aircraft carrier sailed into Hong Kong. And that's when I bought my first gold coin, a Krugerrand, for about $50. I still have that Krugerrand today, and it's worth approximately $2,000. So I don't save dollars because I don't trust the US dollar. And I just save gold and silver and recently Bitcoin. And the reason is because of 1971, when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, the dollar became fake. They printed more money in 2020 than they did in the first 200 years of our country. And still people are saving dollars. You should be buying some gold, some silver, and we can afford it, Bitcoin. But the average person has been conditioned to think about paper, fake money, fake dollars. At the same time, they're printing as much money as they possibly can. They give it to their rich friends. They don't give it to us. And then they print it and interest rates keep going down. So in 1974, when I got out of the Marine Corps, if I had $1 million, which I didn't, I could put $1 million in 74 into a savings and loan, a bank, in a certificate of deposit, and they would pay me 15% on my $1 million. So a lot of people have made a lot of money. They just put their money into the bank, and they're being paid 15% interest. So $1 million back in 74 was worth approximately $150,000. Now it's not a lot of money to retire on, but you could have retired on $150,000 in 1974. Today, I take $1 million into the bank, I might get 2%. So that means it went from $150,000 to $20,000. And after taxes, that $20,000 might be worth $15,000. In other words, since 1974, the US dollar has lost 90% of its value, and people still say to their kids, save money. You've got to be crazy. They're going to, now that the elections are over and all this, I don't care if it's Trump or Biden, they're going to have to print so much money just to pay for all of the social entitlement programs so people don't riot. They can't afford to have any more rioting. So they're going to print more and more money, and people are still saving dollars or yen or euro or pesos. Right now, you should be saving gold, silver, or Bitcoin. So I'm not saying Bitcoin, and people get into what I call pissing matches. Which is better, gold or Bitcoin? Who cares? The question is, how much do you have? That's all that counts right now. Because the reason you buy gold, silver, or Bitcoin is for the same reason. If you trust the US government or the central banks, the Fed, and Wall Street, then save money. But if you don't, then buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. And the thing I like about Bitcoin is that I can run with it. It's just a number in my head. My trouble with my gold and silver, I got so much of it, I have to lug it. It's hard to get it around. So when I started looking into Bitcoin, it was already starting to come up, so I started buying it around 9,000. And today I think it's around 15 or 16,000. I don't know what it is. I don't count that. I just count the number of coins I have. That's it. And I'm buying more. The reason I like gold, silver, and Bitcoin is this. The trouble with the US dollar, the more it drops in value, the more they print. Let me say that again. The US dollar, the yen, the peso, the euro, as it drops in value because interest rates keep dropping, they print more of it and people save it. Talk about losers. Get it through your head. They're printing it. It's getting worth, it's worth less and less and less. Whereas Bitcoin, the thing I like about it, because the more valuable, more expensive Bitcoin gets, they print less of it. It's called a halving. So the price goes up, but the quantity comes down. And check the dollar out. The value of the dollar comes down, but they print more of it. Why would you save it? But it's the same with gold and silver. So I like Bitcoin. I'm glad I bit the bullet at 9,000. It was hard because, gold was only about 1,800. So to buy Bitcoin was hard. But I'm glad I have it today. I'm still planning on buying more because I think, Bitcoin is probably going to go to $50,000. Gold's going to go to $15,000 and silver will probably go to $200. And you're going to buy it then?